Hello traders, if you are day trading and you want a clean, powerful strategy that is easy to follow, then the super trend strategy that we want to discuss in this video is built for you, okay? Because in this video, we're just going to be breaking down the most effective way to use super trend on intraday charts, and we're going to be doing that step by step. Okay, let's just quickly dive right into the setup. Now, first of all, you have to start by adding the super trend indicator to your chart. We're going to do that real quick. The super trend indicator, we're going to add it to the chart right away. Okay, now having done that, we can actually decide to tweak the settings a bit. If you want to use the default settings, you can do that. If you want to modify the settings, to increase the reaction rate of the indicator, how fast it reacts to price movement, you can then tweak the ATR length or the factor. But for the purpose of this video, we're just going to be using the default, which is the ATR length 10 and factor 3. Okay, these values offer a good balance of sensitivity and confirmation. Okay, you would want to use this on a 5-minute or 15-minute chart, which is perfect for day trading. Okay, now you can also color code your super trend for clarity, right? But this particular indicator, as it is on the trading view platform, you can see that we already have the green and the red, right? So basically the green is for buy signals and the red is for sell signals. Now let us talk about entries. Okay, for a buy setup, price must close above the super trend line, and the line must flip from red to green. So in this case, we had the line red, right? You must wait for the price to cross above the line, and you must wait for the super trend line to change to green. Okay, so actually in this case we had a serious impulsive movement here, so ideally you should wait for a pullback before you enter. So this is just one example. This was another example, right? You can see that the flip happened around here, right? Price actually crossed above around here, and this was where the flip happened. Now in a previous video where we covered something related to strategy, I mentioned the advantage of waiting for a price pullback. You know that instead of entering a trade right after the impulsive movement, it is better to wait for a pullback so that you can catch the price at a better price. If that makes sense, you catch the price of that currency pair at a better spot so that you can maximize your chances, or rather have a better risk to reward ratio. So if you had entered around here, it would have been better than entering around here. Okay, meanwhile, I will recommend using this strategy in a trending market, because you can see that in this particular zone the market was ranging, and generally this particular period of time was a bearish trend. Okay, so because it is a bearish trend, let us focus on the bearish trades. Okay, because some persons might be wondering why our buy trade here seemed to be a losing one, and our buy trade here seems to be sluggish. Okay, this is generally a sell trend. So since it's a sell trend, let's look for only sell opportunities. So in like manner, you wait for the color of the super trend indicator to change from green to red. Now, after it changes from green to red, you wait for a pullback. It could be a slight pullback, okay, but just make sure that you have a little pullback at least, okay. So here we had a little pullback in the form of this green candle. So we would have considered entering a sell. This is a sell trend, so no need to be scared, okay. It doesn't mean that you will always be right. Sometimes you're going to be wrong, okay, but just make sure that you have a good risk to reward ratio. So if you're going to enter a sell around here after that small pullback, then you watch for a bearish continuation pattern, okay. So when you have a bearish continuation pattern, that shows that the sell is actually intact, right? Then your stop loss can actually be above the immediate high, right? The immediate high, you can use that for your stop loss. And then your take profit, you can, for your take profit, you can decide to use a fixed risk to reward ratio, all right? Let's say we are setting a stop loss above this high. Then for a fixed risk to reward ratio, you can reference support and resistance zones. Support zones for sell, resistance zones for buy, okay. Or okay, let's just reference it from a higher time frame. Let's see if we're going to find any significant, where is our, okay, this is where it is, all right. So I'm just trying to look for a reference point for our take profit. Okay, so this is a reference point for our take profit. You can see that there is a support zone here. Now let's get back to our 15 minutes time frame. So we are using that as our reference point for our take profit. So you can see, so we can decide to take our profit around that support zone, and that gave us a risk reward of 1 to 5, 1 to 5.28. okay, so just make sure that you are trading in the direction of the trend. That is very important. It is not negotiable, all right. It is not negotiable. Make sure that you are trading in the direction of the trend, okay. Now, this strategy works best during London and New York sessions, when volume is high and price action is clean. Avoid low volume times and choppy consolidations. Supertrend does well in trending environments, so stick to pairs and assets that move with momentum. You can apply this on Forex, indices, and crypto. Just test the Supertrend settings to match the asset's volatility. What makes the strategy effective is its simplicity and clarity, okay? You're not relying on 5 indicators or guessing entries. Supertrend does the heavy lifting, and you just wait for confirmation and execute with discipline. So keep your chart clean, use clear rules, and always backtest before going live, okay? If this Supertrend strategy for day trading gave you clarity, hit that like button and subscribe for more strategies like this. If you want to see this method tested on multiple pairs or back tested with stats, drop a comment below. Stay sharp and trade smart. See you in the next one.